Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This tutorial is meant to teach us how to pad our hips, hip padding. So let's stay tuned to the end. So the first thing we want to do is to draft our basic skirt pattern. So I have my front and my back. The back is the one that has the zip allowance, obviously. So we're going to be working with the front part first. So I'm just going to label it my waist, my hip, and then the knee line. So I'm just using from my waist to my knee line for the hip because your hip cannot pass your underbutt. So these are like the measurements you need for your basic skirt, which is your waist, hip, and knee line. And then you measure your normal measurements, cut out, place on the back, and cut the same thing. So let's start with the front part first. On the waist side, we're going to be going down by 1.5 inches. 1.5 on the waist. This is constant. On the hip line, we're going in by 5 inches. And note that the back is going to be different from the front. So on the knee line, we're going up by 2 inches. I hope this makes sense. Waist down by 1.5. On the hip, in by 5 inches, and then on the knee, we are going up by 2 inches. This is for the front. So let us cut this out, or we're going to connect it rather. We're going to connect them together like our points, and then we cut out, label it, and then cut our back. So now I just use my curve ruler to connect the points together. Then you label your up and your down. That's all you need to do for the front. Cut it out, and let's go to the back. So for the back, we're going to do something a little bit different from the front because obviously our back is different from our front. So the upper part, we're going down by 1.5 also, the same thing we did at the back. And then on the knee, we're going up by 2 inches, the same thing we did on the back. The only difference is going to be on our hip line and our underbutt. At the front, we didn't do any underbutt because we don't have butt at the front. We're just going to go to our hip line, the zip area. You go in by 1 inch. On our hip line, please don't get confused. On our hip line, the zip area, every measurement that we have been taken has been on this side, like at the side of the butt. But this one, we're going to the hip line, the zip area, you're going in by 1 inch. So now for your underbutt, the measurement I use for everyone is 5 inches, which seems constant to me but you can measure your clients. But if you did not take measurement for the underbutt, just use 5 inches. Then you go up from your knee 5 inches, and then you go in by 5. This is just to get your underbutt measurement. So now we're connecting from the 2 inches from the knee. We connect it to that 5 inches. The underbutt measurement. The 2 inches up connected to the 5 inches. Then you connect that 5 inches to the 1 inch we took in on the hip line. This makes sense, I hope. Then from that 1 inch, you connect it to the 1.5 at the top. That's the waist 1.5. You connect them together, and then you have your back butt already. Now I'm going to label it up and down. The reason why we're labeling it up and down is because we don't want to get confused when we cut it out and use our foam to cover. Even when you cut out your foam, you still have to label the up and down. So now let's just cut it out and then move to the covering level. That's the covering with the paper stay. So after cutting and labeling, this is the part where you cut your pattern on the foam. So I'm using this 0.5 foam. There are different sizes. There's one of 1 inch, 0.5, 2 inches, different sizes. But those ones, especially like the 1 inch type, now you have to trim the sides of the foam, which I don't like to do because it really makes the butt too big. I don't want this butt to be too big, so I just like to use 0.5. I don't need to trim any extra edge and all that. So I just cut it like on the paper stay, and I've come them together. Now we just to go and sew around the parts that is remaining, and then trim off the excess excess stay. And don't forget to label it also, like the up and the down part, so you can know where to join the front and back together. So I've sewn all the sides together. I just need to trim out the excess stay. So that is all we need to do. Please don't forget to label, because if you forget to label, you might have issues with knowing where to sew and where not to sew. I just have to label it up and down with the front and the back, so I can know how to join them together. So that's what I'm trying to do now for the front butt and the back butt. Please don't forget, I'm using a 0.5 size of foam. That's what I'm not trimming. But if I was in like 1 inch, I would have to trim the sides where the butt is going to be. So yeah, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just trying to like state that in case you don't find the 0.5 in your area and you find just the 1 inch. So this is me just trying to trim out the excess stay, because I'm going to be joining them together, so you don't have to trim till the end, or you don't have to trim to where you sew. So yes, just trim it out and then join the butt together and see how it looks like. Now I'm done trimming and I feel like it is coming out already. It is looking like what we want to achieve. So at the front part of the butt, I just drew like a little arrow to know this is where I'm sewing. Now I've done that and this is how our butt is looking. We're almost done. It's just to join into the fabric and that's all. But this is how your butt is meant to look. The down is meant to be matching the down, the up is meant to be matching the up. So now it's time for us to join them together. So I'm joining it to my lining. Remember when we're cutting, went down by 1.5 on the waist. So we're doing the same exact thing on the waist of our lining. Also, we're going down by 1.5. Please don't make that mistake of starting from the beginning, because you're going to have problem when it's time for you to fit. So you're going down by 1.5, the same 1.5 you went down at the beginning when we're cutting the pattern out. So you take your butt and then you put it in the middle. Let the middle match the middle. This is the upper part. So like we're sewing on the midpoint, this joining of the front and the back, making sure it is rhyming with the middle of the lining, like the joining of the front and back also. So 1 inch down, 1.5 down, and then you just sew like straight. While you are sewing, you know it is the hip side, so you have to open the lining, like open it up so the stitch can be at the center, and then you're sewing at the center of your joining. This should make sense when you watch it. So yes, that is all we just need to do. So now after joining it like to the midpoint, you can't just leave the hip hanging like that. So we're going to sew it around like this. So because this is on the lining, so nobody's going to see it, and then we're still using like a double lining, especially if you are sewing for lace. So this part is just going to be like covered inside. We're going to line it, so you're just going to sew around so the hip can actually like stay on the lining, because if you just sew the mid part alone, it's still going to like shift, and that's what we don't want. So you're just going to sew it like this. Make sure you're opening the lining to make the place smooth. Yeah, so that's all you need to do for this part. After this part, this is all you need to know. Like, we are done. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this video, and any question you have to ask, I'm here to answer. Thank you so much. Bye.